Hello everyone, welcome to Here on Swap. In this video, I'm going to share some of the life lessons that I learned from the book The Subtle Art of Not Giving Up by Mark Manson. This book was gifted to me on my birthday, and I wanted to share some of the ways it influenced me in making my key decisions, and I hope it's going to help you as well. The title of the book might be a little misleading. It might sound like it's just for rebels, but on contrary, it is rather a book which touches core human values and also something that aids clarity of thought. Mark explains the situations in this book in a very easily understandable manner, and they are to the point. It actually helped me question some of the ways of how I was thinking and how I was making my decisions. And I think the pandemic only helps us understand what is really important to us and what is not. The way most of us are raised is to think of what others perceive of us, pay attention to what their opinion is about us. But this is actually a loop in which we might fall and not understand whether that is really important or not. Mark helps us in getting out of that loop with a very counterintuitive approach. And let's see how. If I were to pick 3 life lessons that I want to share with you all, that would be happiness only comes from solving problems, you are not special, and the value of suffering. Starting off with my first life lesson, that is, happiness comes from solving problems. He mentions that true happiness comes from solving problems that we actually choose and enjoy. And the secret is not in having this problem, but actually in solving it. He also comes up with this beautiful approach of saying, if at all we have X amount in the bank account, or if we attain a certain amount of position in career, or just getting married might make people happy, but it necessarily might not be the case. Happiness is a choice that we have to make today and in the current state we are in, rather than waiting for something miraculous to happen and then we will attain happiness. I don't think there is something like that. And there's actually an old and everlasting saying, no pain, no gain. Isn't that true? Unless and until we work towards something, we do not enjoy the fruit of it. Similarly, enabling ourselves to solve our own problems and letting others solve their own is something which we need to take an approach of. Because today, in some cases, we enjoy solving other problems because looking from a different lens, it looks so simple, it looks so easy. But when it comes to our own problem, we handle it in a very different manner and we think that this is something which only we have and we are so unique about it. If we think happiness is constant, it is actually a myth. I think problems are something which are constant and they are ever evolving. It is a matter of having a choice to choose the problems we have. For instance, I am a computer science engineer by degree, but I could not see myself waking up every single day to solve problems related to software. But then I've actually made a choice to solve other set of problems which are related to supply chain, because that is where my actual and core interest lies. And today there are challenges every single day at work, but I really enjoy waking up to them and working towards finding a solution. On contrary, if I were forced to only look at this set of problems because I am an engineer by degree, and if I were to just solve that set of problems, I might not have enjoyed my life the way I do. So it's actually about understanding what gives us energy, what actually makes us feel more fulfilling and satisfied, and picking that section. This applies to every single segment in our life. Mark mentions the beauty in owning up to our own problems and enjoying the fruit of it versus playing the victim or even denying that we have a problem in the first place. And now I'm moving on to my next life lesson. That is, you're not special. I know it might sound a little harsh. It was even harsh on me when I read it for the first time, because that's what we want to wake up to, right? Thinking that we are special. But I think actually when we disconnect from that paradox of being special, we look at the world with a very different lens. Did you ever ask yourself the question of why me? At least I've asked this question a bunch of times before. And did you notice that we only ask this question if things don't turn in our favor. But if at all you're getting a good grade or your dream job, do we still ask this question? I don't think it often happens because we know that we work towards it. We put in all the effort that it needs to get that particular result. When things don't work in our favor, it still means that it is a result of the choices that we made consciously or unconsciously, and it is a matter of accepting it and moving on. And Mark also says that if we identify that we are not alone with this problem and probably a million others have the same set of problems, it actually helps us to look at ourselves with a different lens. That was what I was mentioning, that we don't feel that we are unique or we are alone anymore, and it is a matter of accepting that we are not special. Having this thought in my mind that I'm not unique, alone, or special makes me more sane. Not because others have problems, but it makes me look at this entire situation with a different lens. Until then, which looks like a big bloated problem, looks like a small dot which is not special, and I can handle it. This is what I keep telling myself. There are some quotes coming from this book which I want to bring to your notice. He says that people who are great at something become great because they understand that they are already not great at something. They rather identify themselves to be mediocre or average. This leaves a lot of room for improvement. And I think each of us needs to consider this when it comes to identifying ourselves as good or expert at something, because there's always scope for improvement, right? I think today, even if you look at Bill Gates or Warren Buffett, people who've mastered a certain aspect in their life still are in the process of learning every single day. And I think we are still a small drop in the ocean that way. This is my favorite takeaway from this book. He explains that by being average and normal, what benefits that we can have, or how can we look at life differently. I'm actually going to read this out from the book. You will have a growing appreciation of life's basic experiences, the pleasure of simple friendships, creating something, helping a person in need, reading a book, laughing with someone you care about, because they are what actually matter. I'm a true believer in this personally, and when I read this quote from the book, I was like, wow, now I know why I was connected to his writing and to his understanding of life so much. Why always have the discussions regarding the next big thing or grand possibilities of the future? Rather, enjoying and appreciating the moment we are in right now. By no means I'm saying that we should be lazy. I think it is very important to work towards our goals, but the goals that matter to us. It could be a business idea that is sitting in your laptop, or it could be building relationships with people that matter to you. Work on it and never blame it on time, because until our last breath, all we have is time. Now, the third life lesson for me from this book, the value of suffering. Throughout the book, Mark mentions the value of earning things, especially when it comes to joy and happiness. He says beautifully that joy and happiness do not sprout out like daisies and rainbows from the ground. Isn't it so true? I think if it comes like that, if it's handed in, I don't think we will appreciate it the way we would do if we earn for ourselves. I was raised to study at school and get decent grades, and then came high school, engineering, MBA, and so on. While I was young, I thought, oh, if I finish high school, I'm going to finish my graduation and then get a job, and everything is going to be all right. But I think now I'm in terms with my life that we need to wake up, do our job, whatever it is, let it be a household work or let it be working for an organization or for your own business. But work is constant. Having and earning the satisfaction in the work we are doing is constant. And only through that will we get joy and happiness. In the section of value of suffering, Mark talks about the self-awareness onion. I love the analogy of how he explains that peeling each layer of onion makes us cry. Similarly, the deeper we go in discovering ourselves, the more emotional we get, because we are going to touch those uncomfortable situations or those uncomfortable spots and know more about ourselves. And I think This book enables us to find out ways to know more about our own conscious and also ask us the right set of questions in terms of making sure that we are living a fulfilling life. The closer we get to ourselves, the better we understand why we feel a certain emotion. And by reading this book, it only helped me get a step closer with myself. And I came up with 3 questions that would probably help you also in your decision making. What pain are you okay with feeling in your life? What are you okay to struggle for? And are you the only person who is having this problem in this entire world? Probably asking these 3 questions helps you ease the decision making process and make the right decisions. And on top of it, I totally recommend reading this book so that it might also help you get a step closer to yourself. Every single day, let us earn the joy and the happiness that we deserve. Thank you so much for watching this video and see you in the next one. Bye for now.